Tell me when.
Uh,
You're going to have to imagine that we're on a green and we have that situation where we want to land that club, up that ball about 3 feet beyond the collar and let it roll to the hole. Okay? All right, a chip shot. You ready?
chip shot.
Okay, a chip shot is a ball that rolls more than the amount of carry. Okay? And when we chip, there's a 3-step process. The first step is I make a read just like I would a putt, but I determine where I want the ball to land. The second step is I choose a club that if I landed on that spot would roll the remaining distance. Okay? And then the third step, and when you're on the golf course, I want you exactly focused on not step C or point C, but you're trying to land the ball from point A to point B. You are 100% locked in on where you want this ball to land. You've already taken into account the break of it, okay, and the roll of it. So when you practice and you're working on your skills, the skill that you want to develop is the skill of landing the ball from point A to point B, okay? The technique that we use, feet close together, ball in the middle. We're going to pivot with our toes to the left because we want it to help us with our follow through. The actual swing is very similar to the motion that you would use if you were to throw a ball underhanded. That club would come straight back and then would come straight through, and then we did a drill. We put an extension right on the shaft, and that extension tells us whether or not I'm using my hands too much. Because if I use my hands, I'm going to hit myself in the side. And you can use another club or you can use one of these sticks. But it's a real good drill, or I can grip down as a drill. I can't get the club over here unless I release my body, and we've learned that's exactly what should happen. And that's a chip shot. It's pretty much the smallest shot that we use. It's the smallest swing outside of a putt. Okay, and it looks very similar to throwing it underhanded, straight back, and then turn through. And then we're trying to turn. We use our body to rotate a lot. Our hips, our shoulders aim for the target. And then we learned exactly where the finish should be. And that finish should be such that the club matches my left arm. And then we now have a way to check. I can look at my left arm, I can look at the shaft, and then I can look at the leading edge. And if I hold that finish long enough, then I can get accurate feedback that tells me whether or not I'm swinging the club the right way. And that's what we need in the first place. Because you live in Kentucky, which is however many hours away from here. And I want you to be, good players, I try to teach my better players to be self-sufficient. I don't want them leaning and relying on me or another teacher. I want them to be able to pick out and be able to help themselves along the way. That's the importance of the feedback. And the shot would look something like this. And it looks very similar to an underhanded toss. Straight back, and then I turn through. The club goes straight back, and then I turn through. Okay? Next, we move further away from the hole, and now we defined it as a pitch. That was a chip, rolls more than the carry. A pitch carries more than the amount of roll. Okay? So if the further I get from the hole, well, I can reach a point where I can't get this ball to my target with just my shoulders. So I need extra leverage, and I looked at my hand, I looked at my wrist in order to create it. And we learned that all a pitch was just an addition to the chip. So if you want to pitch, we simply go to a chip position, and then we hinge. And then we looked at a position that was 90 degrees, where the shaft and the arm form a shape that looks very similar to an L. When that left arm reaches parallel to the ground, I look for this shaft to make a 90-degree angle with it. And that tells me that my wrist hinged the right amount. That would be a little bit too little. That might be a little too much. That would be just right. Now I can tell. And now I practice it. But I chip, and then I use wrist. Chip, plus wrist equal a pitch shot. For this particular shot, I probably would be more likely to grab a higher lofted club. One that, if I want this ball to go at this is the amount of loft on this club. The manufacturer wants this ball to go at that launch angle. Okay? So when I chip and add wrist, chip, wrist, now I'm in a pitch position. And we can get more precise and more specific as we look at it. Where should that grip point, Madison? Point right at the ball. I don't want it outside of the ball. I don't want it inside of the ball. I want it pretty much right at the ball. That's a good way of looking at it. That's why I like these sticks so much. I can use the same drill that I did with the chip shot, and I can go chip, pitch. Is that grip pointed at the ball? No, and I can see that because it's pointed outside of it. No. There we go. That's what we're after. And that teaches me to hinge the club, to set the club properly with my wrist and my hands. Okay. Chip and then hinge. Now I've got something, and I can use that, and I use that forever. I don't care how good you get, you should always use that as a tool to guide you to make sure that you are always on the right path. Okay? And then basically, from here, from this L-shaped position, I'm going to just turn my body. I'm going to let gravity start to take over. I'm going to allow my arms just to fall into place. Gravity will position my arms right in front of my shoulders once again. And I'll hit it solid every single time if I do that. And now I produce the type of ball flight that I had envisioned prior to the shot. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, next. All pitch shots might not be the same distance. Some are longer, some are shorter. All right? And then I like to just kind of use a little scale. For me, this helps me, and I think it might help you as well. All right? But I'm just going to call this my basic pitch position. Okay? If I want it to go longer, I'm just going to add one notch. And in my mind, it's to my right shoulder. If that's to my chest, that's to my right shoulder. Obviously, which one goes further? The shoulder will go further. That's right. And if I want to go a little bit further than that, I might go 2 notches. And that might be closer to my neck in my mind. So I just go to a pitch position and a little bit further. And if I go a little bit longer with my swing, I don't like to add speed as much as I like to add leverage. They're all relatively the same rhythm and the same tempo. If I want it to go a little bit shorter than my basic pitch, I might subtract 1 notch. And in my mind, I just go to my belt, where I just take my hands about belt height. Same type of technique. But you can kind of watch as the chip shot begins to evolve into the pitch, which evolves into the full swing. And this chip, that's why that chip is so important, because it's the foundation with which we use a lot of our shots, just about all of them. They all should look like this through impact. Just like I said, I wasn't teaching you a chip shot as much as I was teaching you how your club should move through the impact area with all of your shots, your full swing, with a 6-iron, your driver, your hybrid. They're all the same way. Okay? But watch how, and in your mind, just tell yourself which one it is. Okay? Is the technique. Here's the chip. I just gave it away. Okay? Then I'm going to add a little length. Then I might go to my belt. Use a little wrist. Looks similar, especially through impact. Hopefully it is. Okay, now I'm going to go to my basic pitch. Okay? Then I'm going to go to a +1 position, which is my shoulder. I can just see it. I see it. Shoulder. Now I'm going to go to a +2 position. And as my swing gets longer, I need a little bit more stance, and my feet gradually begin to get a little bit wider during this little process. You see it? Now I'm going to go to a +2 position, which in my mind I can just feel the club behind my neck. All right, now what is it starting to, now I really don't have a +3 because when I get to a +3, now I'm into my full swing. Does that make sense? See how I kind of evolved into, so I'm always, I have something I can always focus on. All right, your turn. That's good. Stop it.
Perfect.
You get it?
I got it.
All right, your turn. You ready? Got your energy? You want to do some jumping jacks? I'm going to wake you up.
I'm telling you, we were in bed last night.
Here you go. Get that blood moving. I need to do me some jumping jacks.
I do too.
Okay. Okay. That's right.
How many
Here you
hours
go.
are you working a day right now? That's what I want to know.
I work every day.
I know how many hours.
I don't know. All right, you ready?
Hi.
All right, wake up. Are you ready? Are you ready? Go. That's right. Gotta get some blood moving. Blood moving. All right, you ready? All right, ready? There you are right there.
They
All
saw
right,
you
bigger
coming.
circles. Bigger.
Oh.
What are you waiting for?
I go the other way.
You're waiting
Are
for
you
me,
ready?
aren't you?
If
All right, ready? This is hard.
You
You
get that
ready?
one wasn't ready.
Are
Just
you
say
ready?
hold
Ready,
on
see?
just a second.
Are you ready? This is hard. Hard for me. Are you ready? All right. Left toe. Up. Right toe.
But right hand. Right hand, left toe.
All right, ready? Left hand,
There
right.
you go.
Up.
She was cheating.
Right toe. You feel it?
Yeah.
You feel it, don't you? Not easy, is it? Are you ready? Look where I am. See it? Hands on the hips. You ready? Reach. Up. Right toe.
How are you this morning?
Are you ready?
Good.
You work every day too?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Are you ready?
Just come in at least.
Feet
just to-
straight.
I feel better.
Are you ready?
For some reason, you know, riding by here than I do not coming in.
I understand.
So we have a hard
Yeah.
time.
Two more.
You know, but God finishes. We're not complaining, but things have changed.
All the way down. All the way down. All
It was
the way
funny.
down.
How many members do you have here?
Are you ready? Feel better,
We
don't
used
you?
to have like
It does feel
11,
good.
Okay.
and now we
When
got
you
like-
stretch, if you ever need energy,
well,
you ever need energy,
we
stretch.
are going for the same thing we are.
Mhm.
We just got a bigger club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when
I
you
was-
stretch, you get blood moving.
I can
I'm
imagine.
telling you, it gives you energy.
And
All right,
that's right. We got
Your
to
turn.
keep it kind of.
chip shot. Okay, feet together. Ball.
That's
Now
right,
we're only going to use the
forward.
ball. We're going to do the practice, and then we're going to hit the shots.
You know.
All right, now move your
Enjoy
toes
God.
to the target.
Hopefully we can get along.
All right, now take your grip, and we grip it. What's different between your grip with
It
a
used
chip
to
and a
be
full swing? Nothing.
90% of
You can
all the
grip
golf
down
that
if you
goes
want.
to the country club.
But the
So
swing
we
is
go
the
play
same.
golf, It's kind of like it was
Okay?
a private club.
All right,
You
let's
had
see
to
it.
join it. Now you got 90% of all golfers.
Straight. There you go.
Yeah, we ought to
Do it
try to
again.
Go after 10%.
Straight back.
We all
Right
might be to
there.
go after
Right
the
there.
90%.
Terrific. Good
That
for
would
you.
be like,
Good for you.
we got to be teaching here.
And you've got to get good at
We'll
this.
sell a membership even.
You've
like
got to get
90%.
good at. Hold on, I got two
Full
teeth.
membership, she had full privilege, doesn't pay a penny.
You ready?
Monthly due $50.
Hold on.
And if you want a family, same market
now-
family, it's $70.
We're trying
How much
to,
hours is it?
to develop the
300.
skill.
175.
We're trying to develop the skill of
Slow it, yeah,
brushing this
yeah.
area right here. Now, if you hit this tee, you're not gonna hit the ball solid. So if the ball would be here, if you hit that tee, you're not gonna hit the ball solid, are you? If you hit that tee, you're not gonna hit the ball solid, are you? So you want to be able to go with your chip shot
I want to talk
straight
about-
back. There. You see it?
It sounds like.
All right, your turn. All right, chip.
We had trouble kind of hitting it solid.
Good, real good. Straight back. Okay, and we're trying to get better at hold, and then check your triangle. And you get into that habit. I need you to be able to help yourself when you get out on the range by